Today I want to share with you the key lessons from an outstanding book on teaching and learning, How Learning Works by Susan Ambrose and her colleagues. This book is built on research from cognitive psychology, educational theory, and classroom practice. It identifies 7 principles that explain how people learn, and it gives practical strategies that teachers can use to improve learning outcomes. What makes this book powerful is that it bridges theory and practice. It does not only tell us why learning works the way it does, but also shows us how to act on that knowledge in our teaching. Let me take you through each principle in order, showing what it means and how we can apply it. First, students' prior knowledge can help or hinder learning. What this means is that students always bring existing knowledge into the classroom. If that knowledge is accurate, it provides a foundation for new learning. But if it is full of misconceptions, it interferes. For example, a science student who believes that heavier objects fall faster than lighter ones will struggle to grasp Newtonian physics until that misconception is corrected. The lesson for teachers is to activate and assess prior knowledge, to uncover misunderstandings, and to build on what students already know. Second, how students organize knowledge influences how they learn and apply what they know. Knowledge is not just a list of facts, it is a network of connections. Experts are different from novices because they see patterns, structures, and relationships. A novice history student might memorize dates, while an expert historian organizes those events into causal chains and themes. Teachers can help students build stronger mental structures by using concept maps, thematic frameworks, and real-world applications. Third, students' motivation determines, directs, and sustains what they do to learn. Motivation is not about enthusiasm alone, it is about value and expectancy. Students must see value in the task, and they must believe they are capable of success. If either is missing, motivation fades. Teachers can raise motivation by showing relevance, offering choice, and giving feedback that fosters a sense of progress. Fourth, to develop mastery, students must acquire component skills, practice integrating them, and know when to apply what they have learned. Mastery is not a single leap, it is a process of assembling smaller skills into a larger whole. For example, writing a persuasive essay requires grammar, vocabulary, logical reasoning, and awareness of audience. Teachers must therefore break down complex tasks into manageable skills, offer guided practice, and provide opportunities to integrate. Fifth, goal-directed practice combined with targeted feedback enhances the quality of learning. Practice is essential, but practice alone does not guarantee improvement. What matters is that practice has a clear goal and that feedback is specific, timely, and actionable. Think of a student learning piano. Practicing without correction only reinforces mistakes. But with focused feedback, the practice becomes transformative. Teachers should design assignments and assessments that provide such feedback loops. Sixth, students' current level of development interacts with the social, emotional, and intellectual climate of the course. Students are not just thinking beings, they are emotional and social beings too. A classroom that feels unsafe, dismissive, or biased shuts down learning. But a climate of respect, inclusivity, and challenge stimulates growth. Teachers should pay attention to their students' developmental stage, provide appropriate challenges, and create a supportive community. Seventh, to become self-directed learners, students must learn to monitor and adjust their own approaches to learning. This is the principle of metacognition. Students who reflect on how they study, evaluate their strategies, and adapt when necessary become independent learners. Teachers can encourage this by asking students to predict outcomes, reflect on performance, and plan next steps. Now, these 7 principles are not isolated, they interact with one another. Prior knowledge connects with organization of knowledge. Motivation links with feedback. Classroom climate influences metacognition. Together, they form a comprehensive map of how learning works. The book also provides practical strategies for teachers at every level. For example, to address prior knowledge, it suggests using diagnostic assessments or class discussions. To help with knowledge organization, it recommends using analogies and examples. To support motivation, it suggests framing tasks in terms of real-world value. To build mastery, it advises scaffolding assignments. To improve feedback, it highlights the importance of rubrics and peer review. To create a supportive climate, it encourages building community norms. And to foster metacognition, it suggests using reflective journals and self-assessments. What is most inspiring is that How Learning Works does not present teaching as an art of intuition alone. It shows that effective teaching can be research-based, deliberate, and systematic. It reassures us that when students struggle, it is not simply because they are unmotivated or incapable. Often, they are reacting to the way knowledge is structured, the way feedback is given, or the climate in which they are learning. For teachers, this book is both practical and empowering. It gives us a framework for diagnosing problems in learning and tools for solving them. It reminds us that every student has potential, but that potential must be nurtured with the right strategies. In conclusion, How Learning Works teaches us 7 essential principles. First, prior knowledge matters. Second, organization of knowledge shapes learning. Third, motivation drives effort. Fourth, mastery is built step by step. Fifth, practice and feedback are key. Sixth, climate and development influence outcomes. Seventh, metacognition turns students into self-directed learners. When we take these lessons seriously, we stop guessing about what works in education. We start teaching in ways that are aligned with how people truly learn. That is the promise of this book, and that is the challenge for all of us as educators. Thank you.